Hello class. Today we will briefly discuss the origins of World War I, otherwise known as the Great War. Most point to the assassination of Archduke Franz Ferdinand of Austria-Hungary by Serbian nationalists in June 1914 to be what started the war. While this was certainly the tipping point into World War, it's not the sole cause for the outbreak of the conflict. World War I was largely about nationalism, the sense of belonging to and becoming attached to one's country. It was this attachment and love of country that pushed so many to fight and die for the glory of that country. Nationalism also drove the expansion of these European powers into colonies abroad, as well as the expansion and advancement of their militaries to claim and defend these new lands for their beloved homeland. Though Europe was the primary battlefield for World War I, many other countries around the globe were involved because they either had agreements with or belonged to a European country. Britain, for example, had troops fighting in the war from their holdings in India, Australia, South Africa, and more. So why wasn't this just a war between Austria-Hungary with their fallen Archduke and Serbia, whom the assassin belonged to? Because Europe at the time was full of alliances and treaties. When Austria-Hungary moved on Serbia, Russia honored their alliance with Serbia and came to their aid. Then Germany honored their alliance with Austria-Hungary and moved against Russia, who was subsequently aided by France. Then came the Ottomans to help Germany and Austria-Hungary to only then have Britain join up with Russia and France. Thus we had the Allied powers comprising Britain, France, and Russia, and the Central Powers made up of Austria-Hungary, Germany, and the Ottoman Empire. There had long been tensions between all these European powers due to their vast network of colonies and their sense of nationalism, and it was Franz Ferdinand's death that ignited the powder keg that was Europe in the early 1900s, thus creating the Great War which would ravage Europe for 4 long, bloody years. So class, do we all have a better understanding of how World War I came to be?